So if you guys have been following the channel, you know that the second stimulus check negotiations and second stimulus check updates are well underway. Nancy Pelosi and Stephen Mnuchin are heating up their negotiation talks, and we are getting closer to a second stimulus. So that's great news. Now, if you've been following the news a little bit closer, you'll know that a special someone actually wants more than just a second stimulus check. Mark Cuban, who is the billionaire owner of one of the basketball teams of the Dallas Mavericks, he actually wants a $1,000 check distributed to every American bi-weekly for 2 months straight. Y'all heard that right. So Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, he's a self-made billionaire, and he says that the coronavirus aid, we need it now more than we've ever needed it. And he is calling for Congress to approve a $1,000 stimulus check, and to do this every 2 weeks for the next 2 months in response to the pandemic. Now, this is really crazy when you think about this, because when you really think about how much money that would cost, it would just be insane. And he went on CNBC yesterday and said that pretty much that, those without help are struggling badly, and he says we need to get them help. Now, during the first round of the corona stimulus payments, a lot of Americans, they received the $1,200 per adult and the additional $500 for each eligible child. And for the individuals making less than $75,000 and the couples making less than $150,000 now, keep in mind that if they were to approve a $1,000 biweekly stimulus check, that would significantly help out a lot of Americans, but it would also significantly increase the budget right now, because as of right now, they are looking at trying to implement a $2.5 trillion package. Well, if they were to, let's say give us $1,000 bi-weekly for the next 2 months, that might get kicked up to like $3.5 trillion. Not entirely sure exactly how much that would be, how much that would increase the deficit, but it would be very, very significant, but yet still doable. So we'll keep our ears peeled and see if Mark Cuban actually ends up getting some leverage with Congress. Now, back to the more meat and potatoes in negotiations. Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives, they said that they are redrafting a second coronavirus bill, and they actually think that it could pass this week. When you really think about that, that's excellent news. So they are looking to get a second stimulus package approved and hopefully passed this week, at least by the House. And keep in mind that if they are to do that, that still has to go before the Senate to get approved. And then at that point, we'll hit the president's desk. But the fact that they're moving so aggressively and looking to get something approved already to get signed off on and voted on by this week is excellent news. Now, maintaining with the positive narrative here, keep in mind that the Democrats, even with their scaled back proposal that they're looking to get voted on and approved this week, the week coming up here, it does include the $1,200 direct payments to most Americans. Now, more than $100 billion in aid is also included in that, and that $100 billion in aid is going to mostly go towards schools to help them safely reopen, and it's going to help funding for any kind of renewed pandemic jobless benefits and production of any kind of the vaccine. So that's also awesome news as well. So are we likely to get a second stimulus check for every 2 weeks for the next 2 months? Probably not. I don't think that's going to be realistically on the table, but it is something that has been pushed around quite a bit. I do know that Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont and also the vice president running candidate Kamala Harris has also been on board with that. I also know that President Biden, the ex-vice president and president in the running, Biden had mentioned wanting to also initiate not only one payment but an additional payment as well. So we do have a lot of talks with a lot of stimulus coming down the pipe, which is really good news for us Americans who are really looking for a lot of support. Now, if you guys have listened to my last video, you know that I've talked to you about making sure that you are applying for grants. I'm going to be discussing that continually in all of my videos because it's important that a lot of Americans know that the government has allocated a lot of money already for grants, which is just flat out free money for a lot of people who are struggling, which are millions of Americans with paying rent and mortgages and things of that nature. So if you haven't already, I highly recommend you guys look into the grant program. A lot of people have commented on my previous videos, have stated that they have applied for the grant money already, for hardship grant money, and they have received it. some people are still in the pending phase. Some have been approved, and some have been approved and have already received that money, and that could be up into the thousands of dollars. So there you go. That's your second stimulus check already. And then if you count if you count that money, the grant money, in addition to this stimulus check that I think is going to be approved here in the next week or two, then you really are in a much better position. So just keep that in mind, guys. There are a lot of options. I know that everyone kind of has their ear to the ground right now, waiting to get the latest and hoping to get the definitive. It's been passed, and when things are coming, just kind of bear with Congress. Like we're all trying to do right now. I know this is a very tough time for a lot of Americans, but stay positive, guys. We are getting movement on this, and in the meantime, like I told you guys, make sure that you are looking into the grant information, because that is going to help you out significantly. I think give you a little boost when it comes to getting some additional money and funds and support. Other than that, the other thing that you could really do that's super important is to subscribe to the channel. Really important. And also hit the notification bell. So if you guys are new to the channel, know that this is a financial education channel. I do a lot of talks and a lot of videos on credit, on credit cards, on savings, on investing, things of that nature. But as of late, it's been a lot of the stimulus talk videos for obvious reasons. It's in the news. It's highly searched for, and a lot of people want to make sure that they're getting up-to-date information on that. So that's what this has been about as of late. I will continue to give you guys videos as we get actual substance content. And yeah, we're going to kind of go from there. So if you guys do like the content and this is helpful, make sure you guys also hit the like button. It helps me out a lot, makes me feel great about making content, but also helps out the YouTube algorithm as well, and lets them know that people actually like it. Other than that, talk to you guys later. Stay safe and stay tuned in for the next video. Take care.